Number 5. Virtual reality. The virtual reality method is based on the fact that the brain cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. In other words, you respond emotionally in similar ways to both things. Like right now, if I tell you to imagine your first kiss, where were you? What did her lips feel like? What time of day was it? Even though it's not really happening right now, just by answering those questions, you will have an emotional response. It might not be as intense as the real event, but is an emotion nonetheless, and we can control the strength of it using certain tools, as we'll discuss in a few minutes. In other words, because the imagined emotion is weaker than the real thing, we're going to use certain tools to amplify it. What we're going to do with virtual reality is create scenarios that she cannot object to, where she is going to imagine already being in love with you, and therefore subconsciously already experiencing those emotions with you. The foundation of virtual reality lies in role-playing with a woman. Role-playing is the activity of talking to a woman as if you are in some kind of make-believe, pretend role. For example, talking to her as if you are her teacher and she is the student. Or talking to her if she's your secretary and you're the boss. This works really well because women love to play along with things like this. They do it just to prove to themselves that they are clever and can keep up with you. That is their weakness, and that's the same reason why we can get them to accept this method with virtually zero chance for rejection. In my conversation mega program, The Conversation Cure, I discuss in depth the 4 main types of role-playing. For the virtual reality method, you'll want to focus exclusively on the vacation frame. The other 3 are useful for other purposes, maybe for getting fast physical escalations or creating immediate sexual tension, but really for the virtual reality method, we're going to focus on the vacation frame exclusively. In the vacation frame, you and the girl, you're not in the club, you're not in the mall, you're not in your friend Pete's basement. You are in an exotic vacation destination. This has the additional benefit of distracting her from judging you or screening you or basically anything else women are supposed to do on a date or first encounter in a bar or coffee shop. Now, you want to be subtle about this. The major mistake guys make with role-playing is they try way too hard. They'll say something like, "Hey, let's pretend we're on vacation." That's not the way that this works. Instead, you say something like, "Wow, you picked a wonderful hotel, sweetie. It was worth a 12-hour flight to get over here." Or, "Wow, this reminds me of our first date, 7 years ago, in Paris. How wonderful it was." Or, "Thank you so much for packing my suitcase, baby. You know I've been so stressed at work, and it's really great to have you take care of me like that. And you even included my favorite bathing suit." Now, once she has accepted the basic foundational role-playing, in other words, she's playing along, happily joking around with you, even to the point of putting her own ideas forward, then you move on to the second phase. You start describing a situation where she was obsessed with you. Now here's where you control the strength of the visualization. Since imagination is a little bit less powerful than a real experience, we're going to overshoot what is needed by creating a somewhat far-fetched scenario. This has the additional benefit of being funny. Sometimes the more outrageous situation you use here, the more likely she is to accept it and play along. So, for example, you could say, "Wow, I really love the menus at this restaurant. Wait a second. Look at the paper. Isn't it familiar? It's the same paper used for the love letters you've been sending me. And don't worry, I've saved each and every one in a big pink box underneath my bed. Yep, all 200 of them." Or you could say something like this. "Sweetie, did you notice what shirt I'm wearing? Yep, it's the hand-sewn one that you made from scratch. I still remember that. You stayed up till 5 in the morning for weeks, making sure it was perfectly fit to my body. I'm still impressed even to this day." Or you could say, "Wow, what a wonderful view. Yeah, I wish we just had binoculars. You should have brought the ones that you have. You know, the ones that you used to watch me with, through the window, every night before bed." It was so romantic. I'm so happy we turned into what we are today and we don't need to play those silly games anymore. I've even gone so far as to describe situations where I've even had affairs with other women, or where I was caught cheating and she still stuck by me. A woman would have to be crazy in love to stick with a guy through that. The idea is that you want to describe a situation where she is infatuated with you, and since you have already gotten her to play along with the role play, she will be also willing to play along with this, and she'll have no choice but to imagine and internalize everything you say, which makes her start to experience the actual emotion of infatuation. At first, it's just going to be like a seed, but in the coming weeks, those seeds of ideas will develop into very powerful emotions. The real trick to making this work is to get her to accept the initial role play. Once she's laughing, playing along, or even returning it back, then you know you can drop the virtual reality technique. Remember, you don't need very many of these role-playing hooks very often. I'll do them about once every 45 minutes. That's it. Don't take it too far. Just one reference every 45 minutes. Then lay back and let it work its magic. Number 6. The red mirror technique. Everyone's got crazy ideas. We've got crazy ideas that no one else supports or understands. Every single one of us. And most of our ideas are not even shared with anyone else because of fear of ridicule or embarrassment. The funny thing is, most of the time, our ideas aren't even that crazy. The idea behind the red mirror technique is that you're going to take that one crazy secret idea that she's got and reflect it back to her. The key is to find that one crazy thing that she's scared to tell people about and embrace it. Not just understand it, but you need to be a huge advocate of it. Before we get into the actual technique, I need to caution you. You can't do this in a way where it seems like you're just bullshitting her. If you come across as trying too hard, then this technique is going to have the opposite effect. Let me just go through a couple examples here. I was once dating a girl that wanted breast enlargement. She was afraid and kind of too shy to bring it up. Now, she came from a pretty conservative background, so her family was pretty much against it. In fact, we don't even know if they were against it because she was so scared to tell them. All of her friends were pretty conservative too, and on top of that, she lived in Massachusetts, so it's not like she lived in LA where half the women have fake breasts anyway. I kinda knew that she was insecure about having small breasts, and one time she even brought it up jokingly just to see my reaction. Many times people, guys and girls, will bring things up as a joke when they want to see your reaction to it and they want to see what you think of that thing. They want to test the waters without getting rejected. So she brought it up, and knowing that deep down she really wanted it, I said, I think you would look awesome with fake breasts. And I said it really seriously and authentically. A big smile lit up on her face and she said, "Really? Aw," and she gave me a big hug. The reason why is because she was so unsure and had already gotten a lot of criticism for wanting them. So when she knew that I not only supported the idea but was actually enthusiastic about it, she experienced a connection that she would never get anywhere else. Most guys, if they were dating a girl that wanted fake breasts, they'd usually say, "No, sweetie, you're just fine the way you are." But most women know that that's complete bullshit. And also, if they want it and you're a supporter, it can be very attractive. You see, everyone's reality is different. Yes, we all live in the same world, on the same planet, but everyone's perceptual reality is radically different. We disagree on the importance of different things, and our perceptions of time, places, and events are very different from one another. And if very few people agree with you, and very few people perceive the same things as you, and no one sees the same things that you see as important, then this world can feel very lonely. We recently did a major female psychology project, and after doing dozens of very in-depth interviews with women, we discovered that the one common thing that women expressed is that they are very, very lonely. Usually a lot more lonely than guys think they are. What we discovered is that even if they have a lot of friends, if they have a boyfriend or even married, women are extremely lonely. And the reason why is that their reality, that is their true perceptual reality, is never really shared with that many other people. So when you understand her perceptual reality and see the same things as being important as she does, especially the things that most people don't agree with, then you really become her knight in shining armor. I'll give you another example. I was dating a girl that was in a very corporate environment. She worked in one of those huge towers in New York City for a large credit card company. Now, it took me a while to get this out of her, but despite being in this very corporate environment and being urged to go into that environment by her parents, her real dream was to start her own small online business. Now, being someone whose business is mostly online anyway, this was a very natural and easy thing for me to reinforce and support. So every day I would ask her about her business and show real enthusiasm for it. I mean, she didn't really even have a business yet, but my interest and enthusiasm actually got her taking action steps to set it up. I would ask to see what work she did on it, I would learn about and reinforce her new ideas, and in general, I was being the one person in her life that allowed her to dream and really be herself. You see, a person's perceptual reality is based on agreement. Agreement that certain things are important and other things aren't important. And when you can truly tap into those things, when you can share the same perceptions as another woman and agree on what's truly and deeply important, that's when you can really capture her heart. Religion is another way of doing this. Now, obviously you're not going to go out and change your religious beliefs, but notice that the more outcast or different a religion is, or the less mainstream a religion is, the tighter bond those people have within that religion. It's the same thing. The less accepted her ideas are, the more outside the norm they are, the bigger impact your acceptance of those ideas is going to have. Number 7. Touchback method. This fantastic method was invented by one of my trainers, Brian Pettit. He talks a lot more in depth in our Right Touch DVD program, but I'm going to give you a basic rundown here. This should be more than enough to get you going with this. I've been preaching the idea that you should basically reinforce the whole dynamic of rewarding her for her hard work with your sex just about as long as I can remember. Just like an attractive woman will give a guy a peck on the cheek for doing her a favor, you can get women to put hard work and effort into your relationship, or even your short-term relationship, just so that they can have sex with you. But Brian took this idea to a whole new level and created a method that incorporates both language and physical touch that really shortcuts the entire process. Plus, it's foolproof and gets a woman touching and escalating on you. The purpose of the touchback method is to get her sexually addicted to you. It's probably one of the most effective methods I've ever seen for getting her sexually addicted, and that's why I saved this method for last. So, the basic steps are, number 1, touch. Number 2, teach. Number 3, amplify. And number 4, reverse. Now, before I get into the actual steps, there are a few preconditions that need to be in place before you'll be able to get this to work. Firstly, it's important to have the right mindset with regards to sex. You have to really truly believe that women really enjoy sex. Firstly, it's important to have the right mindset with regards to sex. You have to really truly believe that women enjoy sex just as much or more than men do. You cannot be coming from the frame that you want sex more than she does and that you have to somehow trick her into doing it with you, or that she is doing you a favor by sleeping with you. You have to really, really believe this. And if you need help believing this, go pick up a couple of good romance novels. Did you know that romance novels account for over 50% of all books sold? Now, it's not a romance novel, but the book My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday is excellent for this type of thing. It's basically a collection of fantasies written by real women, and a whole collection of them published in one book. And you'll see how women really, truly feel about sex and just how active their imagination is. Secondly, you need to talk about sex and intimacy in the right way. If you ever talk about sex or dating, it's very important that you're never talking about getting sex from a woman. It's always in the frame of giving her sex, giving her pleasure. One thing that I always do is I time my escalations right after she does something I like, or along with compliments. In other words, if she buys me a drink, I'll escalate. If she does something I like, I'll escalate. If she gives me a compliment, I'll definitely escalate. And I'll do it with enthusiasm, with an open, inviting smile on my face. It sets up the dynamic of her working and me rewarding with sex. In other words, she will subconsciously internalize the pattern of put forth effort, get sex in return. Now, once you have established that as your baseline, it's time to take it to the next level. The first step is touch. And when I say that, I mean you're getting her to touch you. There are basically 3 different ways of doing this. By the way, if you figure out another one, please let me and Brian know, since we're always looking to try new things. You can ask her to touch something on you, like say you have a knot in your back or something, or your neck is sore. Or you could even ask her if she thinks that you have too much of a gut and get her to touch your stomach. Another one is playing a game. You can have a thumb war, you can play hot hands, you can ask her to write something on your back with her finger and guess what she wrote. Anything that gets her touching you. You can also do play fighting. You can say, hey, can you fight? Let me see how you punch. Here, hit me in the arm. Second step is teach. You're going to guide her and help her do what she's doing. This is important because it gives her confidence in touching you. Most of the time women love touching men, but they don't just because they aren't sure how you're going to react. And women fear rejection much, much more than men do. So you're going to teach her and show her how to do it right. You want to compliment her and feel as though she's competent in doing what she's doing. You could say, yeah, like that. Or wow, you hit hard. Also, you can give her tips and kind of guide her to do it a certain way. So if she's massaging you, you could say, yeah, deeper, like that, harder. Or if she's play fighting, you can teach her how to throw a punch. Here, do it like this. Now, the third step is amplify, and you do this by reacting to the way that she's touching you. If she's massaging your back, you can shiver like it's so good. If she's playing a game, you can tell her that she's really good at it. Of course, let her beat you. If she hits you, tell her she hits hard, and then tell her that she hurt you, and then ask her to give it some love and make it better. She'll usually rub it, or sometimes even kiss her hand and rub it in, and if you're really good, sometimes they'll actually kiss the area where they hit. So, in this step, you are amplifying her confidence in touching you. You're training her, then you're giving her positive reinforcement when she does it well. The fourth and final step in touchback is to reverse. This is where you pull it away so that she wants to do it more. You got her to touch you, you taught her how to do it right, then you reacted to it positively, amplifying her confidence. The next step is to pull it away so that she's left wanting to do it more. In the example where she's massaging you, you can be like, okay, enough, that feels way too good. In the thumb war one, or playing any kind of game, you could say, okay, you're going to embarrass me, let's stop this right now. In the example where she's fighting, you want to have her touch it and make it better, and then say, okay, that feels a little bit too good, okay, stop. And then the key is to repeat this pattern over and over and over again. You're training her to touch you and escalate on you. This has worked amazingly for myself and all of my trainers. It will get even the shyest, most reserved women out there to be very sexually aggressive. But, of course, since you're the one training her, she's only going to be like that with you. Alright, well, this wraps up the program. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new.